So our next step is going to choose which audience you want to target. So you go to this target audience tab once you've decided on everything above, and you go to target audience. And then we have a couple of options for how to target your audience geographically. So the one that we are mostly going to be focused on is by my location. So this is where you choose your theater. You should have chosen or added your theater to our database in the setup process. If you haven't, we have a separate video on that. And you can just check and see if you've done that under tools and my locations. But right now, let's assume that you've already added your location. So the only time you would need to target by geography is if you wanted to target a specific city or a state. You probably would never want to target something nationally, but if you wanted to target by a state, which you probably wouldn't, but in case you do, you would choose the by geography button. But let's focus on by my location, because what that focuses on is your specific theater. So what this option does is it identifies your theater, which you've already added in, and you've given us your address. And that helps us identify exactly where to create a radius around your theater. So for example, if you are an indoor theater, we will create a radius of a 20-minute drive around your theater. For drive-ins, which sometimes have people coming from slightly further afield, we will increase that radius to a 60-minute drive. And that does depend on whether you're an urban or a rural location in terms of mileage. So for example, an urban 20-minute drive would look very different than a rural 20-minute drive. So we can't give an exact mileage because it depends on what type of location you are in. If you would like to increase your drive time, please talk to us directly, and we will make sure that we change that for you. So let's just choose our location. So let's assume we want the ArcLight in Hollywood. So this is our theater right here. You can add another theater if you've got more than one location. So let's just say Landmark Theaters in Pico as well. But let's really just focus on one location. So as I said, this kind of drops a pin in the address of this ArcLight Hollywood and then gives us a 20-minute drive time, or a 60-minute if you're a drive-in. And that will target everyone within a 20-minute drive of your area. And that's very simply how you target by geography. If you want to overlay a filter on top of that, so for example, if you wanted to target the parents within that 20-minute radius of the ArcLight Hollywood, then you would select the interest and you can type in parents, and that will target parents within a 20-minute drive of the ArcLight. You can also overlay demographic data such as age, so you could choose 25 to 34 and 35 to 44, and then you can also target gender. And that's very simply how you target an audience. The next step, it would be to go to design your ad, either at the button at the bottom, or you can go up to the tab at the top.